Recently, maybe give or take a couple days ago, I realized that I still had an administrator laptop from my school, which I hadn't been in pretty much 2 years. The last time I was there was. The last time I went there regularly was the very beginning of 10th grade, which was around November of 2020, I think. So I missed pretty much the entirety of 10th grade, and I'm gonna miss the rest because I'm gonna take GED stuff and graduate. But point being, if you read the title of this video, you can probably guess that I went back for a little while. I picked a day when Trevin Pro was in his lunch period, which is around 11 to 11:30. So I got on my bike around 9 because I thought, alright, I'm a slow biker, I'll get there in a couple hours. I got there in 30 minutes. So I'm sitting there at 10 and I need an hour to kill, so I'm like, okay, I'll go to Hammond Park, which is near here, and just chill there for a bit. Because I didn't want to do the whole buzz-in, so I was just going to wait for Trevin to let me in, and I could return the laptop and chill with him for his lunch hour, then leave. Which is what happened, but around 10:45 I left Hammond Park, came back, went to the front, texted him saying, hey, I'm here. And he's like, well, I don't see you. And I'm just like, really? I'm right outside, literally right outside the doors. And he walked out and said, hey, these aren't locked, you could just walk in. Yeah, anyway, I walked in, I immediately started getting some looks from a few certain people. I had the same group of girls just, walk by us 3 or 4 times. Funny thing is, that's not the first time they've done that. Anyway, I went in and we talked for a bit, then I went and actually returned my laptop and said, hey, I'm a student who used to go here, but I don't go here anymore. I still have an administrator laptop. I unfortunately do not have the bag or the charger, but I have the actual laptop. So here you go. And I returned it, and then we ended up walking around for a bit, and they had changed so much. Well, there's already a positive case of COVID in there at the time of recording the video, but when I was there, it was a shithole anyway, but now it's kind of getting worse. The teachers just stopped caring. There's a lot of teachers gone because they quit after the COVID crisis, and then the ones that stayed are either huge douchebags or really don't care. And they brought in some of the old NLE teachers because they needed workers, and usually they did care if you swore, but you could do it at lunch and nobody would care. And now the Northland teachers kind of just don't care. And typical thieves, who let's just say had an injury, I'm not going to disclose it yet, but typical thieves had an injury, and instead of giving him a wheelchair because he couldn't walk, he was then given crutches, then given a wheelchair, then had the wheelchair stripped away from him, and then I think is back on one of those things where you put your knee on it and then you scooter around, which they should have just kept him with the wheelchair, honestly. After we... I lost my train of thought. After we went and I got my laptop returned, I said that we walked around, and we did. The only reason we walked around is just to get as much attention as possible, to kind of subliminally be like, hey, I'm back. I'm not dead. Because I remember the last time I was gone for a month straight, the rumor started that I had moved. There was a rumor that started that I had left the state and went to a different school. There was a rumor started that I died. There was a rumor started that I was injured. There was a lot of them. I just said, alright, Trevin, you talk about me a lot for the next couple of days, and eventually word will spread. But considering it's still the start of the year, maybe they thought that I was just a student there now and was coming back, but, whatever. All I can say, I guess, is thanks for listening, and if you want other stories like this, I made a story about how a video that I made on a love calculator got me a lot of backlash from the people in the school that I just mentioned. So yeah, if you want to see more, go check it out, and until next time, peace. Give you a Sprite cheers.